What's going on, dudes? It's your boy TheRealVenom, and welcome to the Cruise Control Mapping Competition submissions video. This was a competition I ran during September which focused on the use of cruise control blocks to keep speed on maps in various styles, including speed, tech, dirt, and more. While there weren't many entries into the competition, these entries that came through were very strong entries, so I'm excited for you guys to see these entries that have come through. All the maps that are featured in this video are eligible for the Community Choice Prize of 3 years of club access, so feel free to check the description for a poll where you can vote for the top prize on who you think should win this. Before we get started, there are 2 entries that I have to give honourable mentions for. Unfortunately, they were disqualified due to a rule break. However, they are both very good maps, so I'm excited for you to look at them. They are both still eligible for the Community Choice, so feel free to vote on those as well. Otherwise, let's get started with these maps. Before we continue, I'd also like to mention that these maps are in no particular order and the winners have not been picked at the time of recording this video. So don't assume that last place is the winner and don't assume that the first one is last. These are just in a random order. The first honourable mention goes to High Rise by Juice and Earlips. These 2 mappers are part of an organisation known as the TrackMania Mappers Assembly, and if you ever see a TMA sign on a map, assume the map's going to be really good. These mappers are very proficient when it comes to decoration and flow, and unfortunately this map was disqualified due to having a corner at the start instead of a straight road. However, the rest of the map feels and looks wonderful. It feels great to play as the lines are very smooth and makes good use of the cruise control blocks, including using plastic drift and even a magnet flip in the middle. The map looks stunning to drive on, and honestly this would have been my favourite pick for the winner. However, it was disqualified due to the start. The second honourable mention goes to Pleasant Valley Cruise by Clever Kixers, who's another proficient mapper who's had these maps featured in Track of the Day before. Unfortunately, this map was disqualified because after the first CP, he had a section of driving and then into a jump before he reached the cruise control ring. However, this map also looks really wonderful. The route looks really fun to drive, and it's really clever how he implemented the use of cruise control when he did. However, because of the sections where he wasn't under cruise control, it did get disqualified. I would highly recommend checking out his maps if you're looking for some really nice maps to drive. The first map to be featured is Escalation by Nacho Cutie. This is a multi-lap tech track that relies on using the cruise control to gain speed every lap to change how you drive the track. The first lap may seem kind of simple, you follow up the route and you basically do a simple wide turn. However, as you gain more speed, you're getting tighter on your corners and then you have to start making jumps, which changes the route entirely. This is a really clever use of not only multi-laps, but cruise control. This has been seen a couple of times in maps like Rigged and Ruins 2, both by Theft Proof. However, this is a really clever use of the map here. As well as this, the deco on the track is interesting as he's used the colour blue, whether it be using the post-processing in the replay or actually in the map itself. However, it does make it feel like otherworldly and alien, while keeping to a very vanilla theme with no custom blocks as far as I can see. Overall, this is a really solid map. The next map to be featured is Inexpugnable by King Tom. I actually had to Google what that word means, and it basically means impossible to overcome or overthrow by force, which is what it feels like when you hit the super booster into the cruise control block. And while it may appear that some of the blocks are placed in scattershot, watching King Tom drive this map makes me realise that all the transitions have been calculated perfectly while remaining on the grid. Overall, this is a really fun map to drive, and I enjoyed playing it during my testing. Fans of futuristic military movies, or the Avengers, may really love this map, as this is Control Station by the Black Poles. While a lot of the block choices feel random, this slow-driven cruise control map feels wonderful with its transitions. Every block is chosen correctly, and the deco feels like a kind of spacey military vibe, with drones hiding above on the maps, built out of vanilla blocks as far as I could tell. This map also features a very interesting ending using a bobsled with cruise control to jump into a finish. Overall, this is a really cool map, especially if you're using just vanilla blocks. I gotta give commendation to Black Poles for this map. Deep by Grimps makes really good use of the vanilla blue textures to feel like you're underwater. A lot of cruise control platforms are placed everywhere so that the blue lights illuminate the area. This map is a really cool, what I'd call a flat tech track with not a lot of banked corners. However, this track still looks really fun to play. The lighting on the map is balanced perfectly, the map feels really controlled as the route doesn't feel too tight and makes good use of a constant cruise control speed. When I received a message from Marius 24 hours before the end of the competition asking about a block choice, I was kinda nervous that he wouldn't get his map completed in time. However, seeing the completed result, I realized he had everything under control. The decoration on the map is perfect, utilizing the spinners and pistons from the summer update to create some interesting obstacles along the way, as well as utilizing some interesting block choices to make the map feel fun to play, such as using a dirt loop-de-loop as a platform by using the top side of it, correctly placed on the grid and allowed in the rules. This map feels and looks really fun to play, and I'm sad that the animations aren't visible as a lot of these animations are really tight, but they look and feel so much fun. Honestly, this is another really solid map. Another amazing creation by another amazing mapper in a mapping team. Doze shows us in Study in Blue that mixed can work with cruise control, featuring an interesting grass bend into what seems like a 180 drift on ice. I don't know how to describe it, it's so cool in that sense. Featuring a dirt section with some nice waterfall deco as well, he makes good use of a blue and white color scheme throughout. I actually had to double check his map several times to make sure he had cruise control, as everything felt up to speed. But after looking over everything, this is a really well constructed map and I've got to give commendation for that. Another map that I did get a teaser of during the competition was Cruising Hills by Greg Sade. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. This map had an interesting arch that had the cruise control on it, and he was confirming if that was allowed in the map. And while I did allow it as it is technically the same as a ring, I could understand why he did so. Looking at the map overall, he's done really well with the hills on the map. The map feels fun to play while driving through hills, doing loops, and feeling like you're in a tight little track, while keeping the cruise control speed at the same time. The end jump he does bonk on the rock, but during testing I was able to jump over the rock cleanly, so I am allowing in the competition. Overall, this is another really solid map in this competition. The last map to feature is Cruisin' Free by Lars. Feeling like heaven by Nightwolf, this map looks amazing. Built outside of the stadium environment, it feels like you're driving around the skies while keeping the cruise control theme going. The blocks are placed at correct distances away, while the floating islands are built around them to feel like nothing's out of place. It makes interesting use of driving through weird lines, such as going between the arms of the checkpoints, and has an interesting flow doing mixed surfaces and transitions. Overall, this is another really fun map. And that's all the maps to feature. As I mentioned, we only got a couple of entries, but as you could tell, it was some really tough competition, considering a lot of these maps were very well designed. Unfortunately, we did have the 2 disqualifications, but they are both really good maps in their own rights, and all of the links, if they're available, I'll be putting in the description. So go and check those out if the links are down there. Stay tuned for the follow-up video where I show off all the maps and my judging and give the scores. where we also announce the winners of all the prizes. This should be coming in the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, and subscribe for more. My links are in the description if you want to check out any of my mapping myself, and a link to all the socials of all the judges who will be judging as well. The other two judges I have with me are going to be Clearvision, who is one of the Waypoint mapping managers, and Arkes, who is another proficient mapper in his own right, running Star Trek and so on. The three of us are going to be judging these maps over the next few weeks, so stay tuned for the video with the results when they come out to see who wins the top prize of $500 and who gets the community choice vote of the 3 years of community access. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck to all the entrants. Stay classy, San Diego. Peace!